Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Hey, so I sent in a question to you guys, and I had said that in the 6 years me and my husband have been together, he hasn't wanted to work.
Yikes. What's his excuse?
So it's kind of a long story, but
make it short. I bet it distills all the way down to something pretty simple, huh?
Yeah, I just feel like he has no motivation.
I mean, but when he doesn't work, what does he tell you the reason he's not working?
Well, he's streaming on Twitch. I'm not sure if y'all know what that is.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, he's streaming on Twitch and doesn't even make enough money to get a payout every month. So you have to make a minimum of $50 to get a payout. And he calls that his job.
Yeah, that's not a job. So what are you going to do?
Why are you put up with this for 6 years?
What are you going to do? Yeah.
I got about 6 minutes and I'm done. How you get to 6 years?
That's the part I don't know. I'm not sure.
So how have you approached this with him in the past?
Well, red flag number one is when I first met him, he wasn't working. And
Shauna, you do a lot, and this is me walking with you. I'm not poking at you. You do a lot of should haves in the past. So like, let's bring it to right now.
Okay.
How have you communicated to him that him rotting his life away playing video games for no money is not okay with you?
Well, I've left him twice over it.
Okay. Why'd you come back?
He begged me to come back and said he would get a job, and he actually started putting applications in and even had interviews, but always had an excuse as to why he couldn't take the job.
Yeah.
So you came back too quick before he actually got the job.
Yeah.
Instead of just more mouth promise.
Right.
Well, people can disagree with me on this, but I look at this as a matter of fidelity, as a matter of immorality. And some people can cheat on their spouse with somebody else, with another person. And some people can cheat with their video games and their lack of seeing the person they're married to and saying, I don't really care what you need. I don't care about our family. I don't care about any future we're trying to build. What I care about is sitting on my butt and playing video games. So you go on about your life. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a violation of the marriage contract y'all made.
He abandoned you at that point.
He's left you. The problem is he's left you in his own living room.
And his body didn't go.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the only path forward is some really firm boundaries. And most of the time, they're hard because you've been holding up every spin and plate in that family for a long time. Being very clear about what you require, what you need, what you want. And you've been burned twice. And so I think the next round is to be very clear. Or here's the deal. Make peace with it. This is the guy you married. He didn't have a job when you were engaged to him. He didn't have a job when you married him. It's kind of what you signed up for. If that's the road you want to take and you're not going to move on and not hold him accountable, then stop beating yourself up every day. Make peace with it and move on. I hope that's not the path you take, but you're welcome to take that path.
It's not good for you or him.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you could take that route, there's nothing wrong with that route other than it's not good for you, not good for him. I think if I were in your shoes, hon, I'd sit down with a good pastor, a good marriage counselor, and have someone guide me through setting the boundaries very firmly and very clearly and say, this is what I need to be in a marriage. I need a husband that participates in the marriage, and that involves you getting a job and keeping a job. And it does not involve you filling out applications. It does not involve you going on interviews. It does not involve in you taking a job. It involves in you taking a job and keeping a job. I require someone that works.
And let's flip it around, because what he's going to do is going to say, oh, you did this. You left me. And I think by being very clear about what Dave just said.
No, you chose.
He is making the affirmative choice to end your marriage because he's not participating.
If you do not go get a job, you are choosing to end our marriage.
Behavior is a language. You're choosing to, and I hope that you don't make that choice.
Yeah, I hope you go get a job.
Please don't leave me.
And if he doesn't, then you don't come. If you leave on this basis, you don't come back.
Right.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
So it's pretend like let's if you changed what was going on to something that you really can't that makes you kind of throw up. Let's pretend he was doing cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how long would you sit there?
Not long.
Not long. Okay.
Right.
But what it is, it's an unacceptable cray-cray behavior.
And it's unsafe. It's not safe.
It's not good for anyone involved, right? And so if you're going to do cocaine, I'm gone. And it's not like a little bit of cocaine. It's not like I sort of might stop someday. It's not like I went to a meeting to talk about stopping. It's like no cocaine in this house if I'm in the house. Period. That's what you would do. But this one is a little bit different because this doesn't feel in the same category. But if you kind of think it through in your brain, the way your brain works around it, as if it was something more bizarre, then you would go, no, I'm tapping out. You're done.
It's a slow growth cancer.
Yeah, this one's more socially acceptable, so to speak. Being lazy is not as big a deal as doing cocaine in most people's minds, and I accept that. But I always, if they're just overspending, or lying to me about money, that's way less than doing cocaine.
Sure.
But if I put cocaine in my head, in my brain, and the way I'm thinking about, okay, if they were doing cocaine, what would I do?
Clarify.
Bottom line is it's a behavior that I'm not willing to accept, so I'm going to, in those situations, put my foot down.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be in that situation. It helps me to kind of, I'll almost go off the deep end in my head, in the decision-making paradigm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's hard to wrap your head around because he's not doing the typical things. He's not hitting anybody. He is.
now that would require energy.
Exactly right. He's not doing anything. And the challenge is somebody can wreck your boat, or they can slowly pull the whole thing underwater. At the end of the day, the whole thing's still underwater.
Drill
And
1/8-inch holes in it. Yeah.
I've got a broad picture of what fidelity is, and I'm sick of.
And abandonment.
That's right, abandonment. But you're going to pay for me to continue to live here. Like I've left you. I'm just going to stay in the house, and it breaks my heart, man. Because people go to the mirror and they say, "What did I do? What am I doing? What's wrong with me?" And it can be cruel. It can just be cruel.
And you haven't done anything wrong except put up with it. It's the only thing wrong you've done. So, for your sake, really for his sake, Shauna, we had a guy working here that we found out after he was here a while, had a pretty serious alcohol problem. And he was out of town calling on a customer for us and showed up at the situation drunk after we had a couple discussions about this. So we fired him. And because we love him. And that we're not going to participate in his crazy because it's not helping him. And, that was several years ago, many, many years ago. And I got the coolest email from him the other day. Completely changed his life. And he's completely dry, sober. His wife stayed with him because he got clean. But the thing that did it was we fired him.
Yeah, consequences.
It woke him up, and he goes, "Thank you for loving me enough to not participate in this wicked script I had written for my life." That wasn't exactly how he said it, but I mean that's what's going on, right? And
sometimes the most graceful.
It's not something you usually get from somebody you fired, right?
Well, sometimes the most graceful thing we can do for other folks that we care about is to say no more.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I love you enough to say stop.
I'm not gonna be right here while you're doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be here while you act that way or do that thing. That's.
And you also mentioned like y'all had walked with him and talked to him and met with him and offered him resources and.
Yeah, it wasn't a singular thing.
Of course, yeah.
And then he shows up at the client drunk. That's pretty singular right there. That one alone will get you, but it was kind of the straw, right? Yeah, but. Gosh, man, he's doing so good. I'm so proud of him. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.